Have you ever turned down a role that could have boosted your career, but you turned it down because it went against what you believe in?
Uh, Judging from my resume, I haven't turned down much. The thing that I want people to understand is a lot of the smaller movies that you see me in uh, probably was a friend of mine or a producer who hired me when I had no money, or they come highly recommended. I've been offered some different types of roles that I didn't take. I've did a TV series where they wanted me to play the neighborhood coon, and I walked off of that. But most of the time, when I read a script, if I like it, I do it. I don't let my when you get to a certain level, when you get to my level and above, your agents kind of tell you what to do, and I don't let anybody tell me what to do. I'm I've worked my ass off, and I do what I want to do. Sometimes, like, say for instance, I'm going to speak on this movie because I caught a lot of flack for doing this movie, Women That Art Loosed. Now, how I got that role, and please, everybody that's listening, understand, I never read that script. Reuben Cannon, who put me in Selma, Lord Selma, he put me in Buffalo Soldiers, and he put me in Why Do Fools Fall in Love. He called me on a Thursday and said, "Hey, Cliff, I need you tomorrow for this role. My main actor dropped out. I need you." And I came in because that's one of my partners. And he hired me when I had nothing. He saw the talent. And so when I read the script, when I got to the set, and when I read the part about the little girl, I made them restructure that. I said, I don't think it's necessary for me to have to touch that little girl. Let's just close the door and we hear, maybe her scream or something. I'm not doing that. Now, on the flip side, I wouldn't have taken that role if I read the script, because I have a daughter and I know how that is perceived. But after we did the movie, we went around to a lot of places and had panel discussions to help women who have been physically, mentally, and spiritually abused. So something good came out of that, but that's not a role I would have picked for myself.
So they wanted you to play a neighborhood coon. Tell me more about that.
It was a TV series. It's a TV series called Simon on the WB. I think it was the WB network. I can't remember. But the week before the show came out, they were scanning all the new shows. And in the Ebony Junior magazine, they said Clifton Powell starring as the neighborhood coon in a new TV show called Simon. And so when I got there and they wanted me to do some coonish type things, I said I wasn't going to do it. So I met with the big white guy who ran the show and had about 7 shows on. And he basically said, I bet you will do this. He said, I bet you would do this movie if it was a William Friedkin film. Now, if anybody want to know who William Friedkin is, he directed The Exorcist. So basically he said, I bet you would do this role if it was a William Friedkin movie. I said, I bet you I wouldn't. And I think I was fired before I even left my seat. But they still had to pay me $70,000 for the 7 episodes. But I would have never taken that role for myself.
I know when I interviewed Fredjo Starr, he told me that he turned down the role in The Wire because they wanted him to kiss him in.
I got a audition maybe a year ago for Mr. Black. I don't think he read the script. So I read the script and I called him. I said, this guy, that's the gangster, he has this guy named Raphael or somebody hanging around the bar all the time. I said, who is that guy? So he called casting and he said, well, they kind of like lovers. I'm like, that's not going to work out. I'm not homophobic. I've gotten a lot of flack for saying something in the heat of the moment. I'm not homophobic, but I have no problems with transgender people or gay people. I don't care what color they are. I have no problems with, I'm not sexist or racist or any of that. But I have boundaries for me as a person, which makes me uncomfortable or comfortable that I just don't cross. And it's not militant. It's just that certain things I'm just not comfortable with. I'm a heterosexual man. I'm not comfortable with kissing a man, whether I got to do it for a role. And I commend actors who can handle that inside of their psyche. I'm not wired that way. And that's just me. And I know that, like I played a few roles where, like Civil Brand, where I had to kind of be brutal with women. I would never take one of those roles again. And I enjoyed that movie, but that guy was brutal, but that's not something I would seek out for myself now.
I mean, you've been doing movies for decades. I mean, why would they offer you something like that at this point in your career?
I don't think they think, well, this guy was the guy was a gangster. So it's, after you see me play Cuddy, I became like the number one go-to gangster guy in Hollywood, you know. But there's certain boundaries that I have, you know. I've never seen a gay gangster, but I'm sure they have been. You know, there was a guy out of DC named Wayne Perry who was bisexual. He was a gangster, biggest killer in DC. I just read about him. I wouldn't play him because there's a scene where one guy walks in and sees him having sex with a man, you know, and I'm not doing that. But they may come and say, man, but you know, we needed a guy that's rough and tough and can play those rough and tough roles. I'm like, I'm not doing that. That's just me, you know? So I don't necessarily, when I read something I don't like it, I don't give it a second thought. Just say I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I heard about that, man. I seen an interview with Sean Branch where, he told a story about how he walked in on Wayne Perry with a man. So yeah, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, yeah. But he was one of the biggest killers in DC. It don't line up for me, but you know, I can't, I don't get into people's sexual life. Like I don't have a problem with people announcing that they come out. I think your personal, intimate sexual life is your personal business. It's like most people don't know my story because I haven't told my story. Some of it is not for the public. I put it in my book, and when you write a book, you can edit what you want to go in and what you don't want to go in. But you never, even if I was gay, I wouldn't come out and just say, "Hey, hi, I'm Clifton," and just want to come out. That's your personal business. That's what I think. And whatever people think about that, I don't really care. I think your personal, intimate, sexual life is your personal business, not to be broadcast to the world.